Also, have I sung the praises of Krita's Colorize mask tool? I'm not sure if I've talked about that endlessly on stream or not. By the way, Krita's Colorize mask tool is really heckin' cool and really powerful and everything. Y'all should use it. Even if you use like another painting program or something, just use Krita's Colorize mask tool and then go back to your thing with the generated masks, because it is awesome. Need to learn to use Krita's Colorize mask tool. Well, I'm using it right now. If you would like a complete tutorial, we could also get a little bit derailed. I'm also okay with that. Don't know exactly what it is or how to use it? Well, let me show you when this is done. Okay, let's make a new image really quick, just for testing purposes. So let's say I'm gonna do like line art, and it's gonna be like we're gonna draw like a face, and it's gonna be smiling, and then we're gonna have our character be like now notice that I'm intentionally leaving some of these lines like broken like this. It's probably the worst art that anyone has ever seen me do on stream. And then we're gonna give him little weird like hands like this. All right, yeah, a little thumbs up. Anyway, so yeah, we got a lot of low quality lines right here. You know, this is not good for arting. Let me do this though. So what you do is you right click here and you go down to add. You go down to Colorize mask. Now, hold on. Let's back up a moment though, because this is actually kind of important. You see what we've got here is I drew on the layer right above the background. By default, there's a background layer that's all white. This thing. And then your transparent layer. And so I drew onto the transparent layer. So this is the important part. Don't draw on the background layer. Draw on the transparent layer. There's ways to fix it if you do accidentally do that. But for now, just draw on the transparent layer. Okay, so we've added the Colorize mask. It's like a child now. It's like there's a little hierarchy thing, and it's like a little child, right? Now let's pick some colors. Let's say this person has pink skin. All we have to do is kind of scribble in that area, in all the skin areas like that. And then let's say they're wearing a red shirt. Like that. We just kind of scribble in that area. And then let's do a green background like this. So we're gonna just bloop like that. I'm just gonna kind of draw around the character. Okay, so we have a lot of problems here. We have a lot of stuff that I did badly on purpose, and we're gonna see how it handles a lot of that stuff. Because right now, like there's this big old gap between some of these areas. We never colored like the actual color of the what's that rim on the clothing called? Not the seam, the collar, that thing. We didn't color that thing, right? We did color most of the shirt, the cuff, yeah. Anyway, so yeah, it's a bad drawing. We screwed it up on purpose and stuff. So anyway, all you do, you come over here. Is it this little like recycle icon, or well, little refresh icon? And we're just gonna hit that, and then we're gonna wait a few seconds. You got a little progress bar moving along right there. And check that out. That actually mostly did it correctly. I'm gonna hit there's a little stick here, which is supposed to be like a pen. Just uncheck that. And you know, like obviously our lines aren't perfect, so it did the best that it could, but that's still pretty good, all things considered. Like, look at what it did right here. Like, it just saw that and it was like, yeah, that's you probably meant to put a boundary there. Just bam, just like that. Okay, so let's take it a little bit further, because that's just applying like flat colors, right? It's basically kind of a weird, at this point it's kind of like a weird non-destructive paint bucket kind of thing, because we can go back, right? Let's say I don't like the way this looks. I want to fix it. Okay, so let's turn back on the editing thing, and we'll turn off the display. So I've selected the stick again, and then we're gonna hide the circle. So we're kind of back here, right? I want that to be a little bit more precise. I'm not going to modify the line art. I'm just going to kind of more precisely define that region like that. Whoop. Get right up to those edges and stuff. And then we're going to zoom back out. We're going to hit the refresh button and wait for the little progress bar to go. We're not done yet, though. We're not done, because there's another thing we could do. Wish CSP could do this. Echo, the thing is, like, Krita's free, so you don't have to like buy a separate program to do it. You can do this and then bring your mask, you know, your mask layer back into CSP or something. If you want to keep using CSP, you can just hop into Krita, do this one thing, and then hop back. Anyway, so we've defined the edges a little bit better, and now look at that. It's fixed. So you can go back and forth, kind of continually iterating on whatever you need to do here. Say you missed an area or something on this, like, and you need to go back and fix it, and hit refresh. And so it's non-destructive, which is really nice. I love non-destructive workflows. Okay, now what? Now, I'm gonna make a copy of it because we're about to convert it, but I want to keep the original copy around. So I'm gonna right click on it. I'm gonna say duplicate layer or mask. So now we have two of them. I'm gonna hide the old one. So we have copy of Colorize mask 1. And then we're gonna say convert to paint layer. So now it's a normal layer, just like everything else. And if you wanted to, you could go in and start using, you know, the select by color tool to select the areas, the individual areas of this to do, you know, whatever you want to in, right? You know, it's a mask now, right? But that's not almost. We're almost there to where we want it. Okay. And deselect that. So you could do that. That would be a perfectly fine like endpoint of that workflow. But here's what I like to do: take that layer, select it, go up here to layer, go to split, and go to split layer. And make sure this fuzziness is set to 0. And I have these checkboxes that I set up at some point. So put all layers in a layer group, alpha lock every new layer, sort layers by amount of non-transparent pixels, disregard opacity. Okay. So we're gonna hit apply. And it's actually made a copy of this for us, so I'm just going to hide the original. So we have like 3 copies of it now. We have the original Colorize mask, we have the converted paint layer, and then we have this new thing. And this new thing is kind of interesting. So as you can see, this new group here is the only thing that we have visible at the moment. This has each individual color as its own layer. So that's pretty cool. And then these can be used as masks in other layers and stuff. So let's say we want to. So this is kind of the endpoint. Once you have this, you have a set of masks that you can go and apply in whatever way you want. I usually apply them in various ways that kind of vary. So like usually what I do, I want to cut out the background. So I just take this green one, our background thing, and I'm just going to take it out. I'm going to pull it out of the layer group and plop it right here. So it's now right above the background, which looks like that. And then we got. Let me get our line art back. I can take this green layer right here. I can go mode or blend mode, and this is a Krita thing. I don't know what other programs support this. We go erase, and now we have a transparent background around our character, and we can composite it onto whatever we want. That's cool. That's super useful. Right? This saves so much time filling in pixels. And I rarely have to go in and adjust the masks afterwards, too. So, yeah, and there's a little dude. There's our little dude. So, a lot of the time the workflow that I have is kind of like this. So we have our line art layer, right? We have our background. I'm gonna add a shading layer really quick. This is how I typically go. So this is me going off the kind of typical. This is how I typically do it. This is not how other people apply this mask necessarily. I'm gonna make a new layer. I'm gonna drop the opacity way the heck down, right? So we're at 29% opacity, and then I'm gonna do the shading on this, right? So we're gonna shade this character. Notice how I've started like painting into the area around the character. Because we have the background now, we can actually do this little checkbox right here, this little A sign. that's an alpha inherit. So we can actually make it so it's masked to that the layers below it, and it doesn't bleed onto stuff below it. That only kind of works within the same group. If I wanted to have a background, I would have to group this with that like erase layer and stuff. But for now, we're just drawing a character on a transparent background. So I'm not gonna get too into that. But you know, let's just do some simple shading on this simple looking character, right? Just do, you know, he's got some clothes. They got the usual clothes wrinkles and all that stuff. We got shade for the neck, you know, maybe kind of define that. We're doing this in black and white though. That's the important part. We're doing everything just in black and white with like a really low opacity layer here. Okay. Now, if we wanted to double it up to make, we could do that again. We can make another layer, drop the opacity down, start doing like details within that shading, stuff like that. And start building up more and more realistic shading from like these kind of simple blocks. We could also do something where we make a new layer and just fill it with the black. Do the same thing that we did before. Drop the opacity down. Now we have a mid-tone, right? And now we can start painting white on top of that using the same thing. So drop the opacity down. Let's draw some highlights in. Oops. Oh, Krita. Hello. Oh. That was weird. Yeah, now we can start drawing white in. You know, we can start painting on the highlights and going the opposite direction. And the cool thing about this technique is, if I'm like, you know what, I want to kind of adjust the levels. We can just go in and like adjust the opacity on some of these individual layers and stuff. We can maybe merge them together if we want to like smooth blend between some of the layers too and stuff like that. But yeah, so we did this. Let's do one more layer. It's like a little kind of rim light layer. Kind of make things pop out a little bit like this. Something like that, right? Now here's what I do. We want to color this. Now that we've done the shading, without worrying about the color, we want to color this. So we have like, you know, we have the colors here. Let's do. Oh wait, hold on. We gotta mask those off. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna take one of those color layers. We don't even have to look at it necessarily. We just want to find out which one it is though. So I'm gonna select that layer and I'm gonna say select opaque on it. And it's going to pretty much do that same like select by color thing that I did before. So I'm going to, above the shading layer, I'm going to make a new layer. It's going to be a filter layer. So this is, again, non-destructive workflow. And it's going to be, we're going to go down to map. We're going to say gradient map. And then we're going to pick a gradient. Let's do this fire one. Or this one. Or, here, let me move this out of the way. You know, there's all these presets and stuff. That one looks pretty cool. That's a pretty cool shirt. Let's pick that one. And then we can go in and tweak it, of course, too. I don't know how to... There's like two different kinds of gradients. One has more kind of like of a curve to the stuff in it, which is what this is. And then there's the simpler gradients that I typically use. Yeah, so you can do something like that. Hit OK. Now, the cool thing about that is I haven't committed to that. I can get rid of this. We still have original shading there. I can go in. I can be like, you know what? I don't like that. I don't like that. Let's pick a different one. Let's pick a different one. Let's do let's do the same one again because I actually thought that looked kind of cool. Wait, that's not the same one. Where's the one we just did? Yeah, there we go. Okay. And usually what I find myself having to do with this technique is I do something like this, and then once everything is put together, it's a little bit too much, and I have to like drop the opacity down to kind of like pull it back. So yeah, there we go. We got that. All right. Let's do the flesh. Let's do, yeah. So select opaque. Selected that again. Make a new layer down here. Add filter layer. Gradient map. And I have like a couple of predefined skin tones that I made, but I usually have to adjust them for like the values. But we were gonna go with like bright pink skin, weren't we? We were gonna do that. Pick like a dark purple there, and then we'll pick our more magenta-y thing here, and we'll have it like max out at like, you know, white like that. Oh. Maybe not. Kind of adjust this until it's all visible. And yeah, and so, you know, again, kind of maybe tone it back down a little bit, get it into a nice range. And yeah, so that's my complete process on a really crappy drawing. Up to a point, because there is other stuff I usually have to do after this, which is to like add color correction and more lighting on top of stuff, because we'll probably do like a new layer on top of this, and then we want to have like some blue light coming from the side, and it's going to be a screen blend mode, and it's going to look like, you know, there's more rim light over here, right? And he's being chased by the cops, so he's got like the blue light on one side, and he's got like the red light on the other side, like this, which you can barely see on his skin there. Of course, now that we've done that, we want to make it look like it's, you know, at night or something. So we'd add a new layer down here, like a filter layer. We could adjust the levels a bit so it's darker. There we go. Of course, now we depend a lot more on those highlights to really kind of define the form and stuff. So we gotta like fill in those and stuff. And there we go. We got our little purple fugitive dude. That's the tutorial. How much time did we just spend on that? Maybe I don't want to know. About 15 minutes, give or take. I think I could probably put stuff that into a highlight on Twitch. The overlay blend mode is also really interesting because it tends to let you do like shading and stuff while preserving a lot of the color values. I don't remember the exact math behind it though. So sometimes I go in there with the overlay and just kind of like airbrush on some details too. Watch the heck out of that highlight. All right, so anyway, that's how I do shading in Krita. So that's what we're working on right here. You know, the actual art that we came here to do today. That's what we're in the middle of. We're adjusting the Colorize mask part of that. So we still got a lot to do. You could probably